Lenten greetings to everyone. Back in December, I wrote a bulletin column called What's in a Name, in which I shared some of Newman's history, at least as I had learned it up to that point. I also raised the question about our name and whether we should consider a name change. Our staff put together a survey to all our parishioners in order to hear your voice on this. We had about 235 responses, so thank you to all who shared your thoughts with us. I've really enjoyed reading through your feedback. In this video, I want to sum up that feedback and then respond to some of the questions that came up there. We've also set aside some additional opportunities for you to speak up following this video response. So I'll be hosting a Zoom town hall on Tuesday, March 16th at 10 a.m. and again at 7 p.m. And then I'll host an in-person town hall on Sunday, March 14th in between the two morning masses, so probably about 9:40 a.m. I'll share that info again at the end of this video so you make sure that you get it. Before I get into the specifics of the survey, let me share some additional things that I've learned since December. Shortly after I wrote that bulletin column, I learned that some months before that, Bishop McKnight had tasked some chancery employees with determining the date that every parish in the diocese was to establish, or that when every parish in the diocese was established. Well, in a decree dated February 23, 2021, Bishop McKnight stated the following about us. Because it has operated uninterrupted as a parish with independent sacramental records, and to provide for an orderly record of the erection of that parish, by this decree, I order that henceforth the erection of the said personal parish shall be deemed to have occurred on December 8, 1963. Moreover, I hereby decree that St. Thomas More Newman Center Parish will remain a personal parish, and that membership in the parish shall be defined as the following. 1. The students and faculty of the colleges and university in Columbia. 2. The immediate family, spouses and children of the persons listed in number 1. And 3. Other persons who register to be a member of the parish. So first, I've learned the distinction between a territorial parish, which most of the parishes around the world are, and a personal parish, which is determined by reason of the rite, R-I-T-E, rite, language, or nationality of the Christian faithful of some territory, or even for some other reason. Well, we are part of that some other reason. And in his decree, Bishop McKnight defined the persons belonging to our personal parish as first, students and faculty of the colleges and university in Columbia. And I think that's a good reminder to us of our primary mission as given us by the bishop. Note, not only our mission, but our primary one. So in the decree of the bishop, he reminds us that we are a parish with campus ministry as a primary mission. So that brings a lot of clarity to me regarding our identity and our mission. We are called to hold both of those together in tandem, right? The parish and our campus ministry. So let me now try to sum up and then respond to the survey as you guys have all given to me. There were 27 unique responses to the question, what do you think our name is? Most had some variation on St. Thomas More Newman Center. Some added parish to that. Some had a variation of simply Newman Center. Asked, what do you think of using St. John Henry Newman as our name? 56% support that, 32% don't support that, and 12% are indifferent. Asked, what do you think of removing St. Thomas More from our name? 40% don't support that, 30% support it, and 30% are indifferent. So one quick point I want to offer here. If we do decide to change our name to St. John Henry Newman, we would at the same time want to honor St. Thomas More as an important part of our history and an important saint. So for example, we have the Aquinas Room. Maybe we could also have the Thomas More courtyard or gathering area or something similar. Some of the responses expressed a beautiful devotion to St. Thomas More, and I would want to honor that devotion and history if we were to change the name. The survey invited explanation for your response on the two name change questions, and you gave a lot of responses. So one response said, being St. Thomas More Newman Center distinguishes us from other Newman centers. Well, actually, there are at least 5 others with the exact same name, St. Thomas More Newman Center. And it has happened that someone once tried to give us a donation and wound up sending it to one of the other St. Thomas More Newman centers. So we have to be careful about those clarifications. One response was concerned about sacramental record keeping if we change our name. This wouldn't affect our sacramental records. It didn't when we changed from St. Thomas Aquinas to Thomas More, and it would be fine if we changed to John Henry Newman as well. Some thought St. John Henry Newman is too long of a name, but I would point out that it's no longer than St. Thomas More Newman, Newman Center, Newman Parish. And when people call us Newman, they would no longer be ignoring Thomas More in our name. Quite a few responses stated that they like Newman, and changing to Newman would clarify our mission. That changing to Newman would make sense because that's what everyone calls us anyway. And several said, I don't care what our name is, I'm going to call us Newman. Now some also said that they love our parish because of the community, and the name is secondary for them. There were also a few responses that wondered whether this is the right time to make a change. A lot of parishioners have not been able to attend in person because of COVID. Some are very honest in simply stating, I don't have anything against using Newman, I just don't like change. I think those are all fair, valid statements and fair, valid emotions. And I would say that it's difficult to find a good time to make a change like this. But I would also say this. Personally, I would never have even thought of changing our name until I learned that our name has already changed several times, from Glennon Club to Newman Club to Newman Center to St. Thomas Aquinas to St. Thomas More, and that we've only been St. Thomas More for about 26 years. The one constant, at least since 1948, has been Newman. And that's when I started to think for the first time, maybe this should be considered. In the survey, the questions for Father Dan part, there were a number of responses or questions put as well. 5 comments expressed concern with how much I've changed things already since arriving. One thing I wanted to say is we need to keep in mind that some changes are because of COVID, which predates me. Some of the changes were already made before I even got here. I've tried to be very circumspect in any changes that I've made up to this point. There are certainly adjustments with every new pastor or associate pastor. Liturgically speaking, as some of you stated in the survey, some of the things that make Newman is the community, which has really been missing for a lot of us since last March, and the full choir and the music ensembles. And I look forward as much as anyone to seeing those things return. So regardless of the name change, we do intend to keep our cor ad cor loquitur motto, heart speaks to heart. We are, however, going to take a look at our logo to make it more user-friendly for print and web uses. From that standpoint, our logo is a little too complex for good graphic design. Someone in the survey asked if this is the best use of our time, and another asked if this would complicate our fundraising. Our development director believes this will actually simplify and enhance our fundraising, because currently there can be confusion about what St. Thomas More Newman is. And even with our college students, it's easy to do an internet search and find out who St. John Henry Newman is. But if they did a search on St. Thomas More Newman, they wouldn't find a saint with that name combination. So for me, it's been very helpful to go through this process of clarifying our history, as well as our identity and our mission. So I would say it's been a good use of our time. Pastoral and evangelical outreach is more effective if everyone is clear on who we are. And what I found out is that it's not just me that's had those kind of questions. I feel like because of this, what we are going through right now, we're all moving in a very good direction in terms of that clarity. In the survey, some asked the question, how much a name change would cost. Now, I'm really not sure of the exact cost, but really the biggest expense in doing so would simply be the cost to change the signs around our building and property. But that's really something we would probably be doing before too much longer anyway, just in terms of normal upkeep. One question asked whether this is a common thing to do. No. Most commonly, a name change happens when two parishes are merged into one. Now, I'm interested in this primarily for these reasons. One, there's not clarity about what exactly our name is now. Two, Newman is now a saint, and so for the first time, eligible to be our patron saint. We've only been St. Thomas More for 26 years, but we've been known as Newman for over 70 years. And four, I do believe it would both clarify and simplify our name and mission. Some asked how this would clarify our mission. Because, as the bishop's decree has stated, we are not a Newman Center. We're a personal parish with campus ministry as the primary persons in our outreach. Not exclusive by any means, and I want to be careful that we don't emphasize one group to the detriment of any other group. So I would be in favor of changing our name to St. John Henry Newman Parish, and the short name being simply Newman Parish instead of Newman Center. Some have cautioned whether losing the word center would hinder students in knowing us to be for them, for students. I think that the primary word there is not center, but Newman. Angel Hall, our campus ministry director, inquired of other places that are both parish and Newman centers, like we are, and many of them, while having center in their formal name, are never called center, colloquially speaking, but simply St. Tom's, St. Paul's, St. John the 23rd, St. Mary's, etc. So our campus ministry isn't worried about such a name change negatively affecting our outreach. It's important to remember our beginnings in campus ministry and the continued importance of campus ministry in our outreach. But I also want to emphasize that the good thing about this clarification that we are a parish is the affirmation of our mission to minister fully to all our parishioners, resident and student. Just as all are desired and loved by Christ, I want also all to feel desired and loved by our parish. So those are my thoughts after talking with staff, parish council, finance council, and reading your surveys. A decision has not yet been made, and even though the survey says that a majority of you are in favor of the change, I need also, as your pastor, to pay attention to the third of you that expressed a hesitancy or even aversion to that change. So that's why I want to have the two virtual and one in-person town hall meetings on March 16th, the virtual, at 10 a.m. and 7 p.m., March 16, 10 a.m., 7 p.m., and the in-person on March 14th, about 9:40 in between the two morning masses that Sunday. I want to hear if there are still strong and maybe good reasons not to change. I've spoken with some of you who have said that your initial reaction to a change was negative, but after reading the bulletin column and sitting with it for a while, have decided that this is a worthwhile change. Practically speaking, I don't have the power to change the name. That would have to be done by Bishop McKnight. I did ask him back in December if that was even a possibility before we go into all this. And he replied that if we are clear in desiring it and ask him to do so, then he's willing to make that happen. So my intention is that after our town hall meetings, I would have further discussions with staff and the parish council, and then a decision would be made by the end of March whether to petition the bishop to change the name or not. So this has been a great learning experience for me, and great to hear a little piece of the mind and heart of some of our parishioners, both student and resident. I hope to see you in the town hall meetings, and I'm grateful for your intention right now, and I'm grateful to be your pastor. If you would prefer to communicate with me directly, feel free to email me or contact the parish office, and I'd be happy to set something up. So God bless you, and blessed Lent. We love Newman.